I'm Alex Bell, getting to the point and digging deeper into local issues. And tonight, we're focusing on $1.60 because really, what can you buy with $1.60? It's definitely not much these days. Even the dollar store has raised their prices, but that's how much money the Sacramento City Unified School District says they're usually left with to feed one student just one meal. The USDA offers extra cash, but if public schools want it, they are limited to what they can spend it on, and they have to use a pre-approved grocery list packed with frozen food. So what's the point? School districts across the nation, including 10 local districts, are pushing back, arguing that kids could be eating better food for the same price. With all of the meals it serves, the Sacramento City Unified School District thinks of itself as the largest restaurant in the county.
We serve 45,000 meals a day. Tell me which restaurant serves 45,000 meals a day.
For 3 years, Diana Flores and Kelsey Netterveld have been leading the charge to get fresh meals to Sacramento City Unified School District students.
We want to get back to scratch cooking. We want to get back to wholesome foods that have less preservatives and that are healthy. And we have Foster Farms right down the street in Livingston. They're 90 miles away. We want to be able to buy a raw protein from Foster Farms, a raw chicken thigh, a raw chicken breast, and cook it in our schools for our kids rather than sending it to a processor and adding in all these additional preservatives and binders and everything else.
The district even built this, the central kitchen, where they can prep, store, and distribute fresh food with their refrigerated trucks to the more than 6 dozen schools in the district. Surprisingly, getting that fresh food,
Carrots, peaches,
is difficult, complicated, and expensive, even here in the Farm to Fork capital. But through a program called USDA Foods in Schools, Sac City Unified gets about $2 million a year to buy wholesale food.
We want to invest $2 million into our local growers, our local economy, to feed kids wholesome meals. That's huge.
But they say the money from the USDA is kind of like monopoly money. In order to use it, districts have to order food from a set list of vendors that have been pre-approved by the USDA. If districts don't choose from that list, well, they don't get to use the USDA's money.
We're investing in the health and the future of our kids. We want to get a cleaner item, a fresher item, a strawberry that was grown 2 miles away onto our kids' plates.
She wants more fresh food options compared to the frozen and canned foods that currently dominate the USDA's pre-approved list. For example, to buy chicken,
everybody is aware of Tyson Foods. They make chicken nuggets and chicken tenders and chicken patties. We send that protein over to Tyson, and Tyson will then further process that protein item into all of these different chicken items for our meal program.
What's not on the USDA's list?
Raw ingredients. Well, that's not offered on the commodity program.
What do you do?
So I either use those items or I don't use those items and I lose the $2 million.
And that's why Sac City Unified, along with about 40 other school districts nationwide, have signed a letter asking the USDA to give them the actual cash to spend freely on food from any vendor, something that's called cash in lieu of commodities.
Instead of giving us a shopping list of $2 million worth of predetermined items, send us the check for $2 million and we'll find our own ingredients.
How are you?
Another downside of ordering from the USDA list, they say, is food availability. Since the pandemic, some deliveries have been incomplete, delayed, or the trucks just never come at all. The district says that processors can't always fulfill their orders, which leaves them scrambling for food. So we went to check out some of those incoming deliveries, and
this is one of our chicken deliveries that we received this morning, and it came in 300 cases short. We were expecting 875 cases, and we received 575 cases.
The problem is these processors also produce commercial items. Right now, commercial items are a much higher profit margin. And where are you going to spend your resources, on something with a low margin or something with a high margin? So right now, commercial items are readily available, but they're more expensive. And we don't have it in our budget to spend the money.
In that case, the district says that they must come up with the extra cash to buy all the food that they still need.
So a school district that doesn't have a cash reserve, the school district pays for it. So it comes out of the general fund, which is funding for educating students. And that's concerning. The money should be coming from USDA for these meals.
Another source of funding is through reimbursements. Between the federal and state governments, districts are reimbursed under $5 per student per meal, but they also have to pay for every expense related to school meals.
All our staff wages,
Benefits,
equipment,
administrative fees.
to cut our paychecks.
The district says that when you break it all down, they really only have about $1.60 per student to spend on school lunch. And there's a catch.
So if you don't sell the free meal, if the student doesn't pick it up, you don't get any of the money.
So I reached out to the USDA to get their side of the story. I asked for an on-camera interview several times since January, and every time they declined, opting instead to send us this statement, saying in part that there is no option to receive cash in lieu, and quote, due to this explicit legislative language, Congress would need to provide new authority to give either additional states or schools the option of cash in lieu of USDA foods. And the USDA also responded to Sac City Unified with this letter, pretty much just saying the exact same thing. Now, meanwhile, there is a new concern brewing in Sac City Unified, and recently I sat down again with Diana Flores, the director of the district's nutrition department, who says that rates for school lunches as we move toward an endemic COVID-19 could now be changing.
Obviously, reimbursement rates are critical to your daily operations, and the rates that we actually saw in that piece, they're going to be fluctuating a little bit from the federal funding that you get. So can you talk about that?
Yeah, so the rates that we're receiving right now were temporary for the pandemic. They increased by 88 cents for a lunch and 26 cents for a breakfast. We have not seen the new rates for the new school year, 2022-23 school year. That should be coming out in the next month or two, but we do anticipate pre-pandemic rates, meaning it will go back to the original school lunch reimbursement and the original school breakfast reimbursement, which means somehow we have to make ends meet during a time with increased pricing.
So you could see that 88 cents and that 26 cents
Go away.
Yeah. So in theory, I mean, 88 cents, to the average person, we hear 88 cents and 26 cents. Doesn't sound like a lot, but to your operations, that is a lot. Can you talk about the impact?
We really deal with pennies and nickels and dimes in our program. When all the other costs are fixed, meaning healthcare benefits, fuel costs, labor costs, when we lose money for our reimbursement, it comes from the food. So then we have to lower how much we can apply towards the food. And in general, we spend about $1.20 for a lunch. That includes the fruit, the milk, the grains, the protein, and the vegetables. And most people couldn't do that shopping at your neighborhood shopping supermarket, and we have to figure that out every day for all our students.
And this is a story we will continue to follow on To The Point. So if you have something that you want us to dig into, all you have to do is email us at tothepoint@abc10.com.